What's going on, everybody? I didn't expect to do this video, but I'm going to do it. I need to clear the air about my podcast name. It's coming up questions, especially in this tweet today. I'm going to mention it, and I'm going to explain my reasoning behind it, and that the fact that I didn't copy anyone. I'm not losing sleep over this subject. I don't care about this subject, even though I do care a little bit about it. But my point is that I have original content, and I bring it originally for all of you guys to hear. Now let's get to the tweet. So today, the co-host of Bleed Big Blue asked me, this isn't the original podcast, because his podcast is called Bleed Big Blue. So he goes, oh, you just put the ing and now it's original? I don't know if he was questioning me. I don't know if he was calling me out on it. But my point is, I'm going to do it in a respectful business manner, first class manner. I'm not going to call him out. I'm not clout chasing. I don't want fame for calling somebody out. And I'm not going to do that because I want to be respectful when I'm on this platform and in the future. But if he does call me out by it, I will respond. But right now, I'm not going to call him out. I'm going to explain my reasoning, because my reasoning is very good. And I've checked with a lot of people. And I'm not naming those names, but I've checked with a lot of people. And they said, oh, your reasoning is very well. You handled it perfectly. And I'm not losing sleep over this. But let's get to the point. So he tweeted that. And I said, well, I can see where you're coming from. But my content is original. And I added the ing on the end of my podcast name, well, bleeding, because I am always bleeding Big Blue. I am a Giants fan for life, and I will keep doing that, even in the off season. Even in the off season, I am bleeding Big Blue. Even if I'm watching the Yankees or the Knicks lose, I am bleeding Big Blue all the time. They've gone through multiple coaching changes, and they've sucked the last couple of years because the front office doesn't know how to do anything. But I am always bleeding Big Blue for the rest of my life. That's how I came up with my name. You don't come up with a name just to add an ending or just to say something like, oh, Talking Giants, that's just a podcast name. No. John Boy, Bobby Skinner, or whoever named that podcast named it because they're talking Giants, and that's the discussion podcast with Bobby Skinner and Justin Pettitte. Shout outs to them. Having Bobby on Wednesday, had Justin on last Monday. Justin's one of my friends, and shout-outs to him. I tried getting more into the Giants community ever since I moved back to New York. Ron Effect, shout-outs to him too. One of the people I met through him. But anyway, back to the point. And the next thing I brought up to him was, and Justin Pettitte questioned me in a friendly manner last Monday when he was on. He said, did you get inspiration of this name from their podcast? Not Bleed Big Blue's podcast, but David Powers' podcast with Justin, Bleeding Blue. And I stated my reasoning behind it, because I'm always a Giants fan, going to be that way for the rest of my life. I don't care how you put it. And their podcast is named Bleeding Blue. And he doesn't have a problem with it. Justin doesn't have a problem with it, because I'm not taking his content. Yeah, the names are similar, but I'm not taking his content. I'm not taking his logo. I'm not taking his topics. I'm not taking his intro. Shoutouts to Brendan Acosta, who made my intro, and shoutouts to Sean and Luca, who've been supporting me and running my Instagram and Twitter pages. But anyway, I finally I said, it may sound like your podcast, and I had no intent of being like yours, but it's different content. It's original content. For example, there's another example I list. You have the New York Giants, you have the San Francisco Giants, you have the St. Louis Cardinals, you have the Arizona Cardinals, Major League Baseball, and NFL. The San Francisco Giants came after the New York Giants. But the reason why everybody calls New York Giants the New York Football Giants is because the New York Giants used to be a Major League Baseball team. Right around, I would say, before the 50s, leading into the 60s, if I'm doing my history correct. Now, the New York Giants football organization didn't come after the San Francisco Giants for having the same name, for having the same team name. No, they didn't. Because they're representing areas and sports. San Francisco is representing baseball in San Francisco. Those are two different areas. New York Giants, they are representing the Giants football team in New York and New Jersey. Both because, actually, the Giants used to play in Yankee Stadium for a little bit. The Jets used to play at MetLife. Actually, the Jets still play at MetLife Stadium. I got that one wrong. Just trying to jumble here. But they used to play at Shea Stadium. Because they were part of New York for one time, but New York has since run out of space, and they haven't gone upstate, so they decided, okay, let's move to New Jersey and get some land and build a stadium. which is Meadowlands turned into MetLife Stadium. But my point is, adding an ing has a meaning. It's not adding a suffix for no reason. It's adding creativity, even though that it sounds like their podcast and it sounds like Bleeding Blue. It's original content, different logo, different content, different ideas, and different intro. Different everything. Yes, the names are similar as I mentioned before, but anything, I was not intending to be like them, and trust me, I'm not trying to branch off creativity, and I'm not trying to branch off fame. I'm not trying to branch off anything else for fans or fame. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to get my content out there and receive fans for that content. I just wanted to clear the air about that. You could subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and comment on all of our videos. Our podcasts are available on YouTube, also Spotify, Podbean, and Google Podcasts. I will let you know when it comes out on Apple Podcasts because we're growing. Follow our social media pages. Thank you to all who are supporting us and listening to our podcasts. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday next week, we have guests on, and we're going to be talking Giants. Not like the podcast name, but I have my own podcast name. That was the point of this video, and thank you for everybody who's watching or listening and gets the point. This was not meant to call out any of the Bleed Big Blue staff members. It was just to make a point and just to say, I'm not branching off your ideas. I have original content. Thank you, everyone.